Today we'll solve remaining question of chapter probability from set A. So we'll start from question number 17. So what is given in this question that if a coin is tossed twice, then the events occurrence of one head, occurrence of two heads and occurrence of no heads are. So when a coin is tossed twice, first thing, what will be the sample space? When a coin is thrown twice, the sample space will be 2 square, that is 4, and the outcomes of sample space will be head 2 times HT, TH or TP. So the probability of one head means here see one head, here it is also one head. The probability of one head, the occurrence of one head will have probability 2 by 4, right? Whereas occurrence of two heads, this one have probability 1 by 4, and occurrence of no head means this one will also have probability 1 by 4. So probabilities are like this: 2 by 4, 1 by 4, 1 by 4. So they are not equally likely. Equally likely means their probabilities are same. So they are not equally likely. So we think that this option is correct, right? So first thing. But if such option is there in option D, you have an option that both A and C are correct. Now what will you do if such option is there? So because only you know that they are not equally likely, but what about their independence? So if such such option may there in the question, they can change the objective also. The question will be same but objective will be different. So you must know that these events are independent or not. So two things are there to check the independence, because I told you in the last questions also that independence of events is very important, and very most of the time such questions are asked where independence is asked in the question. Okay, question related to independence of events. So see, if events are independent, then they cannot be mutually exclusive, or if they are mutually exclusive, then they cannot be independent. So by reading the events, if you can say that they are mutually exclusive or not, if you can say that they are mutually exclusive, it means 100% they will not be independent. So you should say something about events by reading. So by reading these events, can you say that they are mutually exclusive or independent? So if your answer is no, if you can say yes, then it is very good. If you are you can understand that they are independent or not. Okay, so if you are not able to give answer that they are independent or whether they are mutually exclusive, then at that time what you have to do, just write down the sample space just like I have written. After that, mutually exclusive is very easy to define as compared to independent, because mutually exclusive means when we take two events and if their intersection is 0, if their intersection is 0, then they are mutually exclusive, right? If their intersection is 0, then they are mutually exclusive. So we take these three events and we'll try to find out their intersection, and if their intersection is 0, then we will say that they are mutually exclusive. If their intersection is not 0, then they will be independent. Okay, so I am removing these objectives to find intersection. First we'll say what are the events given. First event A will take occurrence of one head, B will be two head, and I will write C no head or 0 head, we can say. One head, occurrence of one. How many are there which are having one head? HT and TH. Two outcomes are here which are having one head. Two heads, only one outcome is there, HH. And for no head, only one outcome is there, that is TT. So we'll get such type of outcomes for all these events. If we find their intersections, means A intersection B intersection C, what will be the value? See, HT, whether HT is there? No. TT is there? No. Nothing is common between all these three, because a question is asking about all these three. So if we take the intersection of all these three, we'll get value 0, because nothing is common between all these three. See, no outcome is common. So their intersection will be equal to 0, or we can say 5. If intersection is 0 or 5, it means A, B, C are mutually exclusive. A, B, C are mutually exclusive means what? They are not independent. So there was first option that they are whether they are independent. So that first option is totally wrong. The second option was they are equally likely. Then it is also wrong, that I have proved earlier. After that, C option was they are not equally likely. That is only right, and D option is also not right. Okay, so they are not independent. So how we have proved? We check their intersection, and that intersection is 0, means they are mutually exclusive. So events can be either mutually exclusive or independent. So here events are mutually exclusive, so they cannot be independent. Okay. Now next question is what? Question number 18. The probability of an event can assume any value. From where to where? We know that probability of any event uh, can be from 0 to 1. Probabilities are always between 0 to 1. Very easy question. Next, if probability of A is equal to 0, then the event A. If the probability of some event is equal to 0, this means what? That event will not happen, right? When probability is 0, we know that probability is what? Favorable outcome divided by total number of outcomes, or favorable outcome divided by sample space. So when this probability is 0, when its sample space having something but its favorable is not having anything, means probability of any event can be like this: m by n. M means favorable and n means total. So in sample space we'll get something, but favorable is 0. Favorable is 0 means there is no such event like A. There is no such event like A, means A will not going to happen. That's why its value is 0, right? That's why it doesn't have any outcome which is favorable to A. So whenever probability of any event is 0, that will never happen. So this option will be correct. And will always happen, this is wrong. If it will always happen, then why probability is 0? May happen, we cannot say like this. And may not happen, this is also wrong. May not happen means शायद नहीं होगा, so we cannot say like this. May happen means शायद होगा, शायद नहीं होगा, so we cannot say any uncertainty, because this is equal to 0 means this will not going to happen such event. That's why its probability is 0. So answer will be what? Will never happen. Question number 20. If probability of A is equal to 1, then the event A is known as. If probability of some event is equal to 1, then what is the meaning of that event? That event is symmetric event, that event is dependent event, or improbable event, or sure event. So whenever the probability of any event is equal to 1, that event is known as sure event. For example, I am throwing a coin and I will say that या तो head आएगा या फिर tail आएगा. मैंने एक coin throw किया and I am saying that either it will be a head or a tail. Yes, it will be a head or tail. और क्या आने वाला है? मैंने जो बोला वो दोनों possibilities बोल दी, right? So if we consider both the probability in one event, then that will be a sure event. उन दोनों में से ही कोई ना कोई एक आने वाला है. So such events are known as sure event and their probabilities are equal to 1. So whenever probabilities are given as equal to 1, at that time we can say that that event is sure event. Question number 21. If P is to Q are the odds in favor of an event. If P is to Q are the odds of an event in favor, then the probability of that event is what? So I have explained you this concept again. We'll revise it. P is to Q are the odds of favor. Now what is the odds in favor? So odds in favor is equal to favorable is to non-favorable. Odds in favor is what? Favorable is to non-favorable. Now these are the odds in favor. Favorable odds are given. It means first thing is favorable odds and second thing is non-favorable odds. So what are the favorable odds? Favorable is P and non-favorable is Q. Now what is the probability of any event? Probability of any event is equal to favorable upon total. What is total? When we take favorable, non-favorable, at that time total sample space will be what? Sum of favorable plus non-favorable. If we add both, we get sample space. Means sample space is P plus Q. So what is the probability of any event? Favorable by total. Total is P plus Q. Okay, total is P plus Q. What is favorable? Favorable is P. So probability is what? P by P plus Q. So whenever odds are given, it is very easy. ये इतना मैंने आपके लिए solve किया. Otherwise just see this, favorable odds are given. Okay, P is the favorable, मतलब numerator fix हो गया P. What will be the denominator? Obviously denominator is the total, so take the sum of both P plus Q. So probability of the such event will be P by P plus Q. So where is this option? P by P plus Q is here, B. So B is right. Now question number 22. If probability of A is 5 by 9, then the odds against the event A is what? Now probability is given and we need to find odds. Probability of some event is 5 by 9 and odds against are what? Odds against are non-favorable is to favorable. Only this is the difference between odds in favor and odds against. Odds in favor we have to take first favorable and then non-favorable, and in odds against we'll take first non-favorable and then favorable. Now probability is given, it means this is favorable and this is total. Then what is non-favorable? Non-favorable will be non-favorable. If we subtract 5 from 9, 9 is the total, 5 is the favorable, then non-favorable is what? 9 minus 5. 9 minus 5, that is 4 is non-favorable. So odds non-favorable is 4 and favorable is here 5. So odds which are against are 4 is to 5. Or you want to write in the form of m or n, then this probability is what? Probability is given you, that is m by n is given to you, that is 5 by 9. In that m is 5, means this is favorable. Non-favorable is n minus m, so it is 9 minus 5, that is 4. So odds against are 4 is to 5, non-favorable is to favorable. Okay, so option will be C, will be right option. If A, B, C are mutually exclusive and exhaustive events, then probability of A plus probability of B plus probability of C equals to what? If A, B and C are mutually exclusive, exhaustive, then what will be the probability of their sum? They are mutually exclusive, means their intersection is 0. Probability of A intersection C is also 0. Probability of B intersection C is also 0. Okay. Probability of A intersection B intersection C is also 0. All such probabilities are equal to 0. Then question is asking about probability of A plus probability of B plus probability of C. Now by mutually exclusive we can say such things. Now by exhaustive, what we can say? By exhaustive we can say that when question is asked about some events and it is asking about their events are either whether exhaustive or not, then the events will be exhaustive if they form the sample space. So if we collect A, B, C, there is no other event in this question or in this sample space. 3 events are given and all these 3 events can form such things and such thing is equal to 0. So their sum will be equal to 1. So exhaustive means what? When we add all these events we will get 1. So the probability of their sum will be equal to 1. Okay. So this is what question number 23. Before, if A denotes that a student reads in school and B denotes that he plays cricket, then probability of A intersection B is 1. Probability of A union B is 1. Probability of A intersection B is 0. Probability of A is equal to probability of B. So, to explain or to write any answer, before writing any answer, we should know what are the events A and B. Here event A means he reads in school. Event B means he plays cricket. So what are these two events? If we know what are these two events, then very easily we can answer this question. So these two events A and B are either they are mutually exclusive or they are independent, because if they are mutually exclusive then their intersection will be 0, or if they are equally likely, or their union is 1 or their intersection is 1. But if we know about their independence or mutually exclusive, then we can say that what will be the answer. So one event is saying that he reads in school, another event is saying that he plays in cricket. Now think about these two students. If a student is reading it at a single time, at one time, if a student is reading in school, then how he can be able to play in ground? Or if he is playing in ground, then he is not able to go to school and read. So these two events are not possible at the same time. He can do any one thing, either he can read or he can play. So we know that by the definition of mutually exclusive, if two events are not possible at the same time, right, means if one, because of one event second event is not happening, means because he is reading he cannot play, or if he is playing at that time he cannot able to read. So because of the one event second event is not possible, such thing are known as mutually exclusive. So these two events are mutually exclusive, and if two events are mutually exclusive, then the intersection will be equal to 0. So these two events are showing that their intersection is 0. If we think about other option, then only this option is showing some definition. It's showing the definition of equally likely. So okay, this showing that events are equally likely, but we don't know about their probability, how many times he read and how many times he plays. So we don't know, so we cannot say that they are equally likely. Second thing, probability of A union B is 1. Okay, probability of A union B is 1. If we know that they are mutually exclusive as well as they are exhaustive, then we can say that the probability of A union B is 1. Okay, so in this question it is not given that we can explain about their exhaustiveness. So they are not exhaustive actually. By seeing such only two lines, that one saying that he is reading and another one that he is playing, we cannot say they are exhaustive, because we cannot say it is forming a sample space. So also this probability is also not equal to 1. And probability of A intersection B doesn't showing any definition or anything, it's just a term. So it doesn't have any meaning for this question. So answer of this question will be only what? Probability of A intersection B is 0, means these two events are mutually exclusive. 25th question is what? Probability of B given A is defined only when. So what is probability of B given A? Of B given A is equal to probability of A intersection B upon probability of A. Whatever given after this line comes in denominator, and whenever we are writing this formula, we should write that denominator is non-zero. Means probability of denominator is always greater than 0. Why? Because if denominator will become 0, then its probability will become infinite, and it is not possible in terms of probability. Probability cannot be indefinite. So to restrict its limitation, or to restrict it into limits, so we should say that it cannot be 0. This. So probability of B given A has this definition. So according to that definition, what we can say that A is a sure event? No, because sure event says that its probability is 1. हमको ऐसा नहीं चाहिए, probability 1 ही होना है, ऐसा नहीं, but 0 नहीं होना चाहिए. So this is wrong. B is sure event. B से कुछ लेना देना नहीं, सिर्फ हमको A के बारे में ही बोलना है जो डिनोमिनेटर में आता है, इसलिए A is not an impossible event. This will be right. A is not an impossible event. Now why this is right? If A will be an impossible event, if A is an impossible event, then its probability will be equal to 0. कोई भी event अगर impossible हो जाता है तो उसकी probability 0 हो जाती है. So what we want, that A will not be impossible event. So if A is not impossible event, then its probability must be greater than 0. So what we want, its probability must be greater than 0. So answer is what? A is not an impossible event. About B, we don't want anything because B is in numerator, but we have to restrict only denominator, that is A. Okay, now question number 26. If probability of A given B dash is defined, so by using same definition, we can say that B dash is not an impossible event. B dash is not an impossible event. Answer will be D. Question number 27. For two events A and B, probability of A union B is equal to probability of A plus probability of B. Only when this is possible, A union B is equal to A plus B. We know that A, probability of A union B is equal to probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A intersection B. This question is asking about only this much. It is not showing you probability of A intersection B. Means it has removed probability of A intersection B. When we can remove probability of A intersection B? Only when at the time we know that A and B are mutually exclusive. Because if A and B are mutually exclusive, their intersection will be 0. So no need to write their intersection. We can only write probability of A plus probability of B. So when it is possible, probability of A union B will be equal to probability of A plus probability of B when A and B are mutually exclusive. So which option will be right? C. A and B are mutually, not this. This is the independent. A and B are mutually exclusive. Option D will be right. Question number 28. Addition theorem of probability states that for any two events A and B, probability of A union B will be what? So by using addition theorem, just I have written here, addition theorem states that probability of A union B will be equal to probability of A plus B minus A intersection B. This is a theorem, we all know this probability, this is the formula. So A union B's formula is this. This is known as addition theorem of probability. Question number 29. For any two events A and B, probability of A plus B will be what? So all these relations are given. Okay. So for any two events A and B, see, A plus B is greater than A intersection B, A plus B is less than A intersection B. Means here in all the options are comparing A plus B with A intersection B. So we know one formula where probability of A union B, where probability of A plus probability of B is in the formula. Also probability of A intersection B is also, I will write it here. Probability of A intersection B is also in the same formula. Now, if you want to compare probability of A plus probability of B with this, what we can do? We'll shift this minus of probability of A intersection B to left. It will become probability of A union B plus probability of A intersection B. And this value is equal to probability of A plus probability of B. Now see carefully. A union B plus A intersection B will be equal to probability of A plus probability of B. When you add A union B to A intersection B, then you will get probability of A plus probability of B. So if you compare only probability of A plus probability of B with only A intersection B, then A intersection B will be smaller than this, because this sum of these two is equal to sum of probability of A union B plus A intersection B. So if we compare this term with A intersection B, then this term will be larger and only this term will be smaller, right? Because after adding these two will get this, and if we take only this and we are comparing with whole this term, then this is larger term and this is the smaller term. So where is this? Where this is larger? Here, see, here it is larger and here also it is larger. So which option will be correct? So suppose probability of A union B, in some case if probability of A union B is equal to 0, at that time we can say that these two terms will become equal. So they can be equal or greater than. So option C will be right. Option C will be right. Probability of A plus probability of B can be greater than this or equal this. Okay. So this is what question number 29.